Hey everyone, Troy Stewart here. I just wanted to give you some background information about this project, the Bible Uncensored. What it's kind of going to look like and play out like. When can you expect to see some like real, actual episodes or the series to really begin? Some background information about where the idea came from and who I am and why I'm doing this whole thing. So for me, some background information. I spent about the last 10 or 11 years working different ways in churches, whether that's like actual on staff or volunteer roles or just supporting the ministers. In that way, did some jail and prison ministry. I was in youth ministry for quite a while. Did some young adults, college, career type stuff. Was like an administrator. Just done a whole bunch with church and came to this place over and over and over again where it just didn't seem like I fit. The pastors had all known my ideas, my problems, my doubts, my fears, all those things about how we should really approach Christianity, how we should approach personal holiness, and how to deal with people as they're walking through a sin in their lives, and what that even looks like and means. But even though the pastors had known, it was like I was told to kind of fit into like a mold. And it just didn't work for me. And so last year, in August of 2016, myself and a couple of people here in Dallas, through a ministry network called the Rev Group, we started a house church here called The Underground. And it's kind of like church deconstructed. We still do worship, we still teach, but it's very, very slow. The emphasis is on learning each other and being family. And being there through everything. There's no shame associated with who we are, regardless of what you're doing. There's no we don't look at it and go, oh wow, like you're such a crazy bad sinner. All we affirm is that God is good, and if you could just experience His goodness and His love, everything will change. Whatever it is about you that needs to change will change if you just allow God to be good and experience His love. And so part of that was our teachings. This is where the podcast, the Bible Uncensored, really began to take life. Was I do the weekly studies, and we do a very, very in-depth study of the Bible because I believe that people should know the book about the guy that we're all praying to and worshiping. And every week it just seemed like our people were saying, I really wish this was recorded so I could listen to it again and I could really remember all that we've covered. And just nights where it seems like it's really slow, but we're all weeping because it's that truth is coming out of it. It's just so good. And so we began to talk about that between ourselves just for the church. What if we were to do some recordings for that? And then talking to friends and family and just people all along the way, people kept saying, I would love to have that recording. I would love to be able to join in onto that teaching and to be able to see the Bible in a new way. And so they kept saying, share it with me once it becomes ready. And so it just kept growing. So we started talking about the idea of let's just record this, make it into a YouTube channel and a podcast and just kind of throw it out there for people for free, which is what this is. So this is kind of like a project of pure love for me. I would be doing this anyways for just our little group here at the house church. So why not do this for anybody that's interested? Again, so that way people can gain like a better understanding of who God is, experience His goodness and His grace and His mercy and His love, because He's just way better, I think, than what we've allowed Him to be in the confines of church. Playing out, I see this as, I mentioned it being like 2 to 3 hour long recordings. Now, let me clarify that. The recordings themselves will be probably 2 to 3 hours. So it'd be like Matthew chapters 1 through 4. It would be, it would probably take a couple of hours to unpack that. But I'm gonna chunk that up into probably like 45 minutes to like an hour or so, wherever it seems like a natural stopping point for each little section. We're gonna part it out. So even though it's 2 to 3 hours, it'll be like part 1, part 2, part 3. It'll be a lot easier to ingest for all of you guys, not these massive things to have to listen to or watch. Along with each little part of the series, there'll probably be like maybe like a little 10-minute snippet, sort of like an overview of what the study is going to look like. So that way, if you just want to do like a quick idea, kind of gain it perspective really quick without having to sit down and watch the in-depth stuff. It's going to have some of that as well. So it's going to be very involved. It's going to be some kind of get your feet wet with a shorter overview videos, and then a very, very, very in-depth study. That's going to be, per recording of those 2 to 3 hours. It'll be like, I don't know, 2 to 4 part series that are, half hour to hour long, and then be able to break those up. And those will come out hopefully weekly, definitely bi-weekly, so every 2 weeks, for you guys to be able to have that. Because, again, it would take 22 years to do 1 chapter a week, 22 years solid if you did that. And so I obviously don't want to do I would take 22 years of my life to do it. It's my love, but I don't think anybody else out there would want to listen to me for 22 years. And then with this, it might be able to come into, there's ideas of like a little, Facebook group for, I have a Patreon page. So if you go and become a Patreon, at a certain level, then there would be like a Facebook group for it to have like community and be able to start that. And then, as well as like helping people start their own little like house churches or worship movements, whatever, to kind of give them the balls to step out and do it, to own it and say, this is mine and we can do it. So that's kind of what this whole process is looking like, is it's trying to hand this whole Christianity thing back to the people. I'm not a PhD. I didn't go to a whole lot of schooling for theology, for the Bible, for really anything. I do have a Bible degree. It's a bachelor's from a little Bible school, but what I do have is just a passion for this thing. I study it. I read those doctors and all the PhDs and see what they're saying, and I study out the historians even to see what the culture looks like. So I don't. What that also means is I don't have the not the baggage, but like the box, the filter that those types of seminaries and stuff give you, and tell you how to think. And I grew up Southern Baptist. I went to a Pentecostal Bible school, and so I have some kind of wide variety there on doctrinal type ideas and denominational stuff. I'm still spirit filled, but I would say I land somewhere now more like Orthodox. And kind of like emergent, which was a term that was real big back in like the early 2000s, mid 2000s. And so I'm not really looking to like push one point, doctrinally or denominationally. This is just trying to say, how can we find like a unity of the faith, and appreciate each other and find the truth in there without the boundaries of saying like, oh, this denomination won't let me talk about certain things. I have the total freedom to do that with the people that I do ministry with. So it's amazing. I love that. And so hopefully I'll be able to invite you into that process as well, for a better study, a better experience of what it's like to live with Christ, to live with other people. That's what this whole entire project is really aimed for. So anyways, guys, I wanted to kind of give you more of an idea of like what the background was, what it's going to look like, all that type of stuff. And I'm looking at really trying to have the study starting the very beginning of January. I know that's a little ways off, but it kind of gives time to go through the holidays, and we're all super busy. So it'll give me time to really set everything up, make sure it is ready to go. And then we'll be really getting the stuff out to you guys. So it'll be on iTunes. It'll be an audio recording of what you see here on the videos, for if you just want to listen to it. Again, chunked up into like 30 minutes, a half hour, maybe hour and a half. So those 2 to 3 hours that I talked about, they will be they'll be parsed out. It'll be easier to ingest for everybody. It'll be the YouTube channel. Please, the YouTube channel's already up and going. Some of you have already gone and subscribed. You can find it at the Bible Uncensored on YouTube. Hit subscribe and be watching there. I'm going to post most everything to the Facebook page as well, so that way people can come in. But please subscribe to that. You can also find it on Patreon, which is like an online tip jar of sorts. If you want to help support this financially, please go over to Patreon, look for the Bible Uncensored, and just kind of follow the steps that are there. It would be so phenomenal. It would give me the financial freedom to really sit down and focus on this like it really needs the attention for, because I do just a ton of things already. So this would give me the ability to just hone in on this project and get it out to you guys as fast as possible, and as in depth and everything. So anyways, I love you guys. Y'all have an amazing week. Have a great Christmas coming up. Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever else there is out there. Happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. Just be blessed and enjoy your family. Love you guys. Bye.